You have to do
I'm
it all
Peter
over.
Davis. I'm the second oldest of 8 children of Paul and Shirley Davis.
Wonderful. Any words on Mom and Dad and what they mean to you?
Well, I have much gratitude for them, and they mean a lot to me. I think they're more than parents, but they're also role models. A lot of parents are not role models. My parents, I feel, are. They're survivors in business, but more importantly, in their personal life, in their marriage, and their spiritual life. They've continued throughout their life to retain hope. And I believe the root of that is their faith. And because they've had that faith, they've been able to live a life that's filled with hope and a deep happiness, not the happiness we see in our society today, but rather a deeper happiness of gratification, knowing your children are well and knowing that your life is happy, but we all have to at some point meet death, and I think through their faith they're able to explore that and see that in hopefully many years from now, but face that with courage rather than fear, and that leads to a life filled with hope, and I admire that.
Hi Sito, hi Jojo. I just want to let you know that we love you so much, and we love everything that you do to us and everything that you did to my mom and dad. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi Sito and Jojo, I love you. I'll tell you why I love you. Because you have great souls.
Oh.
Sito and Jojo, because we have Mama Monumental.
Okay, try it again.
Wait, go
ahead.
Jindo,
Go ahead.
and I like Sito and Jindo.
Okay, I love you. Joseph.
I love you.
Sito and Jido, I love you because you're a great example of father and mother, and you have a great family, and you always help out when we need help, like with repairs and things like that. Jido, you're always the first one to come over and help with those things, and the love that you have for your kids is a real good example to us. Alright, love you. Thanks.
Okay.
I love you, Mom and Dad, and I love you because all the sacrifices that you've given us and all the love, the unconditional love that you've given us, and I am so blessed to have you both as our parents. We love you.
I'll say ready, set, go.
Sito and Jido, we love you so much. Joanne's gonna videotape a couple of things we have to say. Emily, go ahead.
Dear Sito and Jido, I love you because you're the most kind and caring people that I've ever met. I've never not been excited to go to your house, and I always love giving you a hug when I get there. You've taught me to be the person that I am today, and I wouldn't be the same without you.
That was beautiful. Cece?
I love you because you make the best bully, and I love giving you hugs, and you're so nice and kind.
And I love you because you're the best parents. Obviously, I'm biased because you're my only parents that I have. But Sito, you've always had a warm hug for me. Ever since I was a little girl, I used to love jumping in your arms and feeling your warmth. And you're so kind and humble and loving and giving, and such a beautiful, God-loving woman. And so unselfish for you to be a nurse and raise all 8 of us your whole life. You've worked so hard. And you're an amazing cook too. And Jido, I don't know where to start. Obviously we're very close because we've always worked side by side together. You're an amazing mentor, and I love going to you for advice on anything from work to being a good mother to children. You've always been such an amazing role model. Not only are you extremely humble and generous, but I don't know anyone else that I've met like either of you. You're both going straight to heaven because you're amazing saints. I love you.
Okay, ready, go.
I'm Savannah Mansour, and I'm 15. I love you, Sito and Jido, because your house is so close and we always walk over and have the best time, whether it's sorting screws or helping Sito stuff her stockings. I love you guys so much, and I know that I'll always have these memorable moments.
Ready, go.
My name is Lauren Mansour. I am 9 years old, and I love you because you're nice to me, and whenever I need help, you help me. Okay. My name is Ashley Mansour, and I am 11 years old, and I love you, Sito and Jido, because
Better finish.
Finish? Okay, I love you, Sito, because I love baking with you and cooking, and you've taught me a lot of things about cooking. And I love you, Jido, because you're always nice and kind and thoughtful, and you're always helping me out and teaching me how to like life hacks and stuff like that. So yeah, I love you guys.
Say your name and how old you are.
I'm Victoria Collins, and I am 18 years old, and I love Sito and Jido because they are such loving and caring people. They're great influences in my life, and I'm so blessed to have them in my life.
Hi, I'm Christina. I am number 7 out
I'm
of
Marianne.
8.
Sorry, I don't let people finish talking. I'm Marianne. I'm number 1 out of 8, and we're gonna tell you why we love you.
Yes. I love you, Mom and Dad, because you're the best parents and best example that I can ever imagine. Best example of parenting, best example of being an amazing mom, dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, grandparent, everything. So thank you so much for instilling all those amazing qualities into all of us.
And I love the balance between the both of you. I love how Dad is logical and thinks things through, and Mom is loving and nurturing, and between the both of you, we came out perfect. So thank you.
I love you so much, guys, and thankful for every day we have with you.
I'm Thomas Collins, and I'm 16 years old, and I love Sito and Jido because they always welcome me to their house with loving arms, and they love nothing more than to share what they have with us. They always look forward to us coming, and they're always looking to come to Crystal Lake and visit with us. I know that they always will mean more than just grandma and grandfather, because they are practically more than just family, but they're my best friends to hang out with. Thank you, Sito and Jido, for always being with me. I love you, Sito and Jido.
I'm Connor, and I'm 21 years old, and I love you, Sito and Jido, because you gave me my wonderful mother. Without her, I wouldn't be the man I am today, and you've been such wonderful grandparents to me, and to all my siblings. You've taught us so much. I absolutely love you guys for it. Thank you.
Say who you are.
I'm Nick,
And I'm Carrie.
and we love Sito and Jido because they're wonderful grandmothers, grandfather, and wonderful parents.
And I think they're wonderful because they're always concerned about how you're doing, and if you need any help, they want to help, and they want to get a team together to help you too. And they'll help in whatever way they can, and they're always very positive about how things are going to turn out, so they keep you very hopeful. And I love their witness of faith.
And we love them very much.
My name is Alexander Bouchard, and I am 12 years old. And I love Sito and Jido because without them, I wouldn't be here. And not just because they're my grandparents, but because without them and their example, I wouldn't be who I am today. Thank you.
I am Miles. I am 9 years old. I love Sito and Jido because Black.
What?
Black.
Blessed?
Black.
Okay, that's Miles. And how old are you, Miles?
9.
9.
I'm Michael Mansour. I'm 13.
I'm Jasmine Mansour and I'm 6.
And we love Sito and Jido because of how much they've sacrificed to put everyone where they are today. That's it.
And Jack, why do you love Sit-Down Jiddo?
Because what?
Do you like their snack drawer? What do you love?
Yeah, I like the snack drawer. No.
Okay.
Alright. The snack drawer.
Go.
We love Sit-Down Jiddo.
Who loves Sit-Down Jiddo? And that's Christopher. How old are you, Christopher?
4.
Take your mask off.
I'm 4 too.
And Joseph's 4 too. Take your mask off so I can see you. There they are. Already.
Ready?
Yes.
Mom and Dad, we love you so much. Joanne's doing a little videotaping for us about some of our thoughts about how much we love you and some of our good memories. I'll let Dan talk a little bit because I had a chance to talk with Emily and Cece yesterday.
I'm so grateful for you guys raising this amazing daughter that you have loaned to me, and the amazing example that you guys always present as a loving couple, amazing supportive parents and grandparents, and how to maintain the values of family and faith. You guys are big role models to me.
Go.
I love you because
And why do you love Sit-Down
you're
Jiddo?
nice.
Nice. And how about you, little one?
Dolphin, 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 dolphin. Because I love her.
Sit-Down Jiddo, I love you because you're so kind to me, and you always show me some really awesome and cool stuff.
I love you because you love me.
Oh, can you say it one more time?
Sit-Down Jiddo, I love you because you love me.
This is Rachel and I'm Mark.
Happy anniversary.
and wanted to say thank you for not resting on the 7th day. Mom, you remember the story where you said God rests on the 7th day, so you should too, and I always ask, but I'm the 8th kid, and so thanks for hanging in there, and thanks for leading with a really great example of faith and family, and on the family side, you know, one of my things that I love to do that I remember doing a lot with you was always cooking and feeding the kids. It was always fun to do, and so that's always fun. And on the faith side, you know, learning a lot about you know, how, you know, Dad, your commitment to St. John in the Desert over the years has been unbelievable, and seeing that relationship that is just beyond a church member is really cool to see.
As you might not be able to tell, we're outside Corner Bakery, which is a really good symbol of faith and family, because this is where you like to come after church with your family. And thank you for the witness to leading a holy life that especially you've passed on not only to your children, but that you're demonstrating for our children, for your grandchildren. And it means a lot, I think, to have the grandparents set the example of faith in their life. Just as Pope Francis said that was instrumental in his upbringing, I think that it will be instrumental in our children's upbringing too. So thank you, and God bless you both, and we pray for many more happy anniversaries.
Hi, I'm Jim Hamrow. Came to Peoria January of 1959. 2 months later, I met Paul Davis. He invited me to the Cedar Club Christmas barbecue, or rather Easter barbecue. I went. After we ate, I went with John Davis to the Shannon Court to pick up their sister Pauline. I met her, went back to the Cedar Club, and the next January we were married. So it all started with Paul. Thank you.
Hello, Paul and Shirley, honey. It's such a pleasure talking about you and how much we all love you. And Paul is my twin brother, and Shirley, of course, is my sister-in-law. And I'm so thrilled to have them in the family.
Aunt Shirley and Uncle Paul, I wish you both a happy 50 years. I can't believe it. You've been a wonderful inspiration to me and all my life, and I love you both very much. Happy anniversary.
Today is December 3rd, 2016, and Paul and I are celebrating our 50th wedding anniversary. Although it's a little early, our anniversary is December 31st, and we'll be married 50 years. 50 wonderful, loving years with the best man in the world.
You look great.
Thank you.
Mom and Dad are...
We're just so happy together.
And to think when you say 50 years, you can't put it into perspective because we're all of this time, how did it pass by so fast? And we accomplished a whole lot, and we're very blessed that we have 8 children and 24 grandchildren, and very happy grandchildren that are well raised and very, what an opportunity, you know, for us to be thankful for these events. We got married in Connecticut, Danbury, Connecticut, in the Eastern Rite, Melkite Rite Church. And fortunately, in our blessings today, we had Father Brad, which was the Western Church, and then Father Bob Skagen, who is Eastern, by ritual Eastern, and he gave us a very beautiful blessing in the Eastern Rite, and Father Brad did one in the Western Rite. So we got a double blessing with a beautiful liturgy mass, at St. Agnes with Father Brad and Father Bob. So, and the kids all participated, and that was all photographed and with the film, so you'll get a chance to hear them too. I don't know what else we can say.
We can't forget the one man who's been so good to us, and that's our Lord. We thank Him for all these 50 years. We thank Him for the 8 beautiful, wonderful, thoughtful, warm-hearted children that we have. We thank Him for every blessing that we've received in our lifetime. And we're very grateful, and we're truly blessed that we still love each other after 50 years.
And thank God, you know, we're both healthy-wise, pretty good shape. We're still active in babysitting, still active in with all the activities that we can keep up with the grandkids. So that's very good. Just going to the birthday parties is an event. It keeps us busy.
And we thank Carrie and Joanne for organizing this event today, and anyone else who put their hand into it. Joanne, I know, took great pictures. We can't wait to see them. And Carrie organized all the children with prayers of the faithful. And also we got altar servers up there. Michael and Jacob and Alexander were the 3 altar servers. They did a great job, and it was Jacob's very first time as an altar server. He did beautifully. We're so proud of all of them.
Dana, were you able to get the talks the kids gave at the end? Oh, that's good. That's memorable. So, I think that's anything else. So we said a lot, and we're very thankful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're
Very
thankful.
much.
You know, one thing that I didn't get, because I got kind of blocked, is your kiss. And so maybe you could reproduce that now.
What to tell me? Were the kids doing?
Our children or grandchildren?
When you two kissed at the
Yeah,
up there,
yeah.
I was blocked by the priest.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm wondering if
Oh,
you
yeah.
could do that again.
Anytime.
You want to do it over again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then, well, we got a special blessing, as I mentioned before, and at the end, both fathers says, "Now you can kiss the bride," and you missed that part, so we'll recreate it for you.
Love is patient, love is kind.
Thank you.
I missed it.
And you made Jess cry. And I had it on video instead of photo.
Okay, now we'll get again.
Well, what part did you want? Of the photo.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Good.
Hi, I'm Shirley Davis, wife of Paul Davis of 50 years, and we're celebrating today. And this is a special picture I want to show everybody. It's one of my favorites. This was taken on board ship on our trip to Hawaii just about 6 months ago. And we had a fabulous time. I'm going to put the picture down now. Anyways, what more can I say? I think I mentioned a few things before when Dad was sitting next to me, but I thank everybody for this special day, and we thank God for bringing me to this special day. And we're just so happy all our children are here and to spend special time with us today on the special occasion. 50 years, I can't believe it. I don't know where the years have gone. The kids seem like they were in diapers, and now they're all out of college. And most of them are married, and we're just so happy for all of them to have found beautiful spouses, wonderful men and women. And I think I mentioned the date. Today's December 3, 2016. And our anniversary is actually December the 31st. We're married 1966, the very last day of the year. But anyways, I thank everybody for everything, and I especially thank God for everything. That's it for now. Until the next 50. Bye.
All right, thank you. Do you have a smile for the camera? Can you give each other a hug? Nice.
Just admiring the See's candy over there.
Oh, yeah. That was Joe's favorite. He used to bring me a box. Every Christmas I thought about it. All these people we brought candy.
He used to bring me a box of See's candy on Easter and Christmas.
Who did? Yeah,
Uncle Joe.
Oh,
Good smiles, good smiles. Last one. All right.
And what did you want to do with it?
All right. I'll interview them, but you're a person, so whatever you want to do.
Oh, no, that's it, because after this, we're going to have the siblings go back inside.
Shirley and Paul, a happy anniversary, my darlings. And Paul, dear, you made the right choice. Shirley is a doll, and I love her dearly. She's a sister. And Paul, darling, it's so nice. I'm glad Mother didn't take one of you back. Happy anniversary. This is your sister, Helen, your youngest sister.
Right.
Dear Brother Paul and Sister Shirley, I want to wish you a very happy anniversary. I am grateful to God that I'm still alive to share this wonderful occasion. It brings back a lot of memories. You have captured the legacy that Mother and Dad had, and I wish you the very best. Good health, most of all. Love you both dearly. This is Genevieve. December the 3rd, 2016.
Right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Hey, Nick. I tried to get the President of the United States to come over and shake hands, but he was busy.
How are you? Good to see you.
Go ahead.
Mom, Dad, congratulations on your 50th anniversary. Boy, I'll be a very lucky man if I can reach that. Joanne and others asked me to talk about what you taught us. Well, boy, there's too many things that come to mind, but some of the big ones are really the ability to forgive, to let go, to cling to our past, our roots, to make the best of a situation. Can you hear me okay? Is that loud?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
To make the best of situations, to look at things from the positive perspective as opposed to the negative, and to always persevere despite what we have in our life. So those are some of my thoughts, but I'm very thankful for everything you've done for me. As I've gotten older, I've grown in my gratitude. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Well, this is a very important occasion to be with one partner for 50 years, and a loving partner, and a partner that's been open to me and understood all of the life struggles that we go through with children and growing up. So I'm so happy to live this length of time, a long time, and one can't ask for more than, and that's a blessing, to have this opportunity to stand up and say, we've been together for 50 years, and to know we have offsprings. We have 8 beautiful children that are right from the root of our grandparents, our parents, and through us. What more can you ask for? And now we have grandchildren that are a good example of what the sacrifices my great-parents, my grandparents have done to allow us to continue their values and their strength and their spirituality and their faith, and it's carried through them to us. So I want to thank God very much for allowing us to share in the values that we have, and that is beautiful. So thank you very much.
8 kids, married 50 years.
Well, the beautiful part of Shirley came from a big family, I came from a big family, and there was never an issue between us how many children we wanted or not we're going to have. Whatever God gave us, we would accept. Even though the doctors, after we had 2, he says, well, now you have a boy and a girl. Do you want us, do you want any more children, or do you want us to teach you or allow you to change your sexual life? So we allowed the doctor to, with those fine words, and we put a conclusion to that doctor. So that's what life is like today. It's the husband and wife have to make those choices and allow that, the beauty of having children, and the struggle does pay off because it's the beauty that you see later in years, that you feel so happy that you were fortunate to have a family and loving children.
And what attracted Mom when you first met her? What was it that attracted you to her?
Well,
Her
that's a
smile?
very difficult question, Joanne, because that is the mystery. What does it make someone, complement each other? it's something that is from within that tells you that is the right person, and that's who you want to live with and share your life with. So that, I was lucky. I was very fortunate. We managed very well, both of us.
Yes.
I may do that for kids.
No.
Is there designated sitting places?
Walk here, just right there.
Sit wherever you want to sit.
Yeah.
Where are the kids? Are all the kids coming?
No.
No? Oh, really?
No.
The kids aren't coming.
I might be the youngest.
Ah.
You cross too many.
I see you're very welcome. Congratulations.
Where the kids?
I think you're going to have more cheers than me.
I'll jump over.
It's gonna be hard.
I bet it's a good one. Yes, exactly. She has his Oh, I did that. Yeah.
All right, ready?
Take as many as you want, Jeff.
Go right here. Hold on, real.
I saw.
Jeff, we're going to do one without the spouses, just their children, mom and dad's children.
Okay, ready? Here you go. Okay, ready? Keep it right here. When people just play behind you.
Wait, are we doing like arms like this or straight down, girls? I'm just trying to hide my arms.
Everybody smile. There you go.
Cheese.
And keep going.
Can I have a
It's like a giant selfie. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Pose. Keep looking here.
Should we all look down? Yeah, let's look down.
Everybody look at mom and dad. Aw, they're looking at each other.
They're gazing in each other's eyes.
Love.
How's out there? I'm not sure.
Sorry.
Hey.
You're not doing it. Last one. All right.
Jeff, Dad, Mom, I don't know if you can see us. I wanted to thank you for being married for 50 years. That's quite an honor. This isn't my speech, it's just the intro to the speeches. We have about an hour left of our videographer, so we wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to say what they wanted to say. And since Marianne is the wisest of all the siblings, and Charlie is the other wisest, if you feel comfortable spouses coming up to say something, you can. There's no pressure if you want to. But siblings, Marianne, if you want to start us off, and we're going to. Yeah, we should do the prayer first, and maybe Dad, would you like to lead us in the prayer?
Carrie and Nick, we're going to say a prayer right now.
Lead us in
Sure. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Thank you. Bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, which we have received from Christ our Lord, amen. Provide and protect for us. We also thank God for bringing us together, and especially at this very important gathering. 50 years is hard to believe that it has passed that fast, but so much was done, so much has been accomplished, and it all came through the grace of God. Amen.
Amen. So whoever's going to be giving toasts or speeches, this is the greatest spot to stand at because you can see Mom and Dad, and also the photographer or the videographer can videotape you.
And I'll be in the background.
And Mike will be in the background of all of them.
You don't have to look at me. I just want to say I'm so blessed to be one of your children, and congratulations on 50 years. I should hope for that, and we're working towards that. Halfway there. But I just wrote a few things down that I didn't want to forget. Thank you for showing us how to balance responsibility and individuality in our lives through giving us freedom to stretch our muscles. even when it causes us to knock grape juice on the white curtains and ruin them forever, or showing us the importance of charity and compassion when visiting Santo and Socorro, or your Franciscan high school teacher at the nursing home. I'll never forget the peacock there. That was the reason I went. But thank you for everything that you've done for us, everything you've given us.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I could be here to celebrate with you.
Thank you. Yeah, that you came down.
When Mary Ann referenced the Kool-Aid, it was the color that was
Grape juice.
Grape juice. And it just accidentally, as kids, you know, and it hit the drapes. When we lived on Almeria Street. I says, no problem, I'll just put it in the bathtub and you'll just take it out. So I took it to the bathtub and took it out, and also the grape juice came out of it, but also all the little stuff that made it, the fibers that made the...
That kept it together?
That made it look like a curtain. So it came out like a wet towel. So we did hang that back up, and in memory of Mary Ann.
Well, do you remember how it started though? Somebody said, "Show me your muscles." So I said, "Sure." Grape juice goes. Sharp elbows. Sharp elbows. I haven't changed. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Teresa.
Teresa?
Is that what you're saying?
Yep, Teresa's
But
next.
I'd like to be somewhere in this.
Oh, yes. You'll have your turn after the siblings, or do you want Aunt Helen's? Charlie, are you okay? Want to go?
He says siblings first and then maybe spouses.
Should I just right here? Hi, Mom and Dad. I just want to thank you for all your examples that you've shown us, your dedication in the marriage through sacrifices, which now we know, being in our marriage, what it takes. And marriage is not easy, but somehow you made it look easy. And I want to thank you for you giving us our faith, because I believe that that's the strength that gets you through anything. And thank you for being our parents, and we love you very much.
Help you. What a relief, huh?
Yes.
You can get this far. You can go the whole way.
I know, why not?
Okay, so at 10 o'clock last night, I had a chance to, in the silence of my home, write. I know some of you have received emails at 3 in the morning and 10 at night, and it's the only time it's quiet in my house. So I wanted to first thank each person for coming to Mom and Dad and being part of Mom and Dad's life and our lives. I think it's your example that sustains us in our marriages and sustains us as individuals. So an extraordinary marriage of 50 years. Dad, since your surprise birth as a twin, his mom didn't know he was pregnant with twins. Or I mean, she was pregnant with twins. Since your surprise birth as a twin in Sudbury, Canada, your life was destined to be one filled with amazing and unexplainable accomplishments. Building a successful business and a church, helping many people and organizations, and the greatest of all these accomplishments, I don't think one person can do normally. The greatest was finding Mom, a beautiful nurse from Danbury, Connecticut, whom you met on a blind date in Phoenix. Mom was not a typical woman. She was amazing, like you. Educated as a nurse, keen with details, and had a heart of great compassion. As a bonus, she was Lebanese and liked to cook. And I could only imagine on your first date what was going through your mind. This beautiful woman with a cute little Eastern accent, and she's Lebanese and cooks. You know, I could only imagine. You know? And Mom thinking, oh, he's handsome, you know? You committed your life together in the church in front of the cross on a beautiful day in snow, with snow covering the ground and the sun up above. December 31st, 1966. I've been a little sleep deprived. Your families set the example of faith, a faith-filled love, your mothers and your fathers. Tonight, I thank your parents for the example they were to you. With courage, you welcomed 8 of us into your loving arms during a time when big families were the oddity. Marianne, Peter, Teresa, myself, Nick, Jennifer, Christina, and Mark. You weathered our childhood, adolescence, puberty, the high school years, and the college craziness like pros. Always having confidence in us that we would make the right decisions, trusting in God that He will protect us always, even in Mexico, Turkey, Germany, the Middle East, England, and the many other places that we'd been to that we didn't even tell you about. You were right by our side during the dating years and marriages. You were supportive of every spouse in our good times and bad, always encouraging us to go beyond our own inclinations and put love of the other before our own desire to be loved. You were there on the first day of life for each of the grandchildren, as excited about the, what are we on now? 24. As excited about the 24th grandchild as the first. Your joy is in the children, and it is seen in your eyes, your smiles, and in your whole being. Our children are so blessed to have witnessed your love. And now here you are, 50 years later, standing in a room of not just your children, but your admirers. Your marriage lived out the gospel. God is smiling upon the both of you today because you served Him through each other in your marriage. I love you. Thank you.
Can I add a footnote to it?
Yes, please.
Joanne, when Joanne and Teresa were in Mexico, we took that as an opportunity to go down there, Mom and I, to, there's someone there. So we went and stayed on the same Cuernavaca in Mexico, and that was a place where a lot of the students went to learn Spanish and live in the community and learn the culture. But one thing Mom discovered as we were taking the railway or the bus system there, at every stop, Mother saw this word Salida, and she says, "It's a funny thing. All of these streets are all named the same in Mexico." So Teresa and Joanne straightened us out. And what does Salida mean?
Exit.
Exit.
I don't know where to get off. I'll just look for the Salida. I'm like, no, that's not a place.
Yeah, we enjoyed it wherever our children were. We wanted to be there with them. So we took that as an opportunity, even when you were in Lebanon and doing the working in the orphanage there. We were able to, Peter was in Germany, so we stopped in Germany, and he gave us a great tour of Germany and Austria. And then we jumped down to Lebanon and then Syria. So those were opportunities we made up because you people were there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nick?
I didn't have a chance to really go over this. Or really even, we were driving home last night and we've been so busy these last few nights that she was typing as I was driving and talking. So I hope it turned out right.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Thanks, Jeff. So Mom and Dad, when I think of the admiration I have for both of you, one of your qualities that stands out the most is the way that you teach by example. I will be forever touched by Dad's stoic determination
to be a faithful father who serves his family above himself, and mom's heroic patience, quick to forgiveness, compassion, caregiving, and gentle heart. I learned later in life that these qualities are not easily achieved, but worked for, and involve a repetitive gift of self. We all benefited from your commitment to marriage and family life, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you. You were always there for me when I needed a listening ear. You were there with a kind heart when I needed to be loved unconditionally, and a firm word when I needed to be corrected. These later years, when I was striving or while I was striving to find my vocation, I never felt alone because I knew you were always there. I'd like to think that as the years go by, I automatically become wiser, somehow by age, that wisdom comes, right? But wisdom doesn't come by years alone. It comes by watching and learning from good people like Mom and Dad. You know, it can be shocking to hear as a boy people come up to me and say, your parents are saints. Well, I really didn't hear that much from other people. What about me, right? Yet this happens repetitively now, and it's something that I think of automatically when I think of my parents. Your desire to serve the church, the unfortunate and the distressed, as well as your steadfast commitment to seek peace in stressed relationships, helps convince me of your pathway to sainthood all the more. I admit, growing up, I thought I would never want to be like Mom and Dad. But today I truly admire you both for your virtue and strive to learn from and live my life like you. I pray that God may grant Carrie and I back there 50 years of marriage. If so, I will be well into my 90s. And I pray that at that age, I will be as motivated as you are to continue to strive for the narrow way. So I invite all present, I was told this is a toast, so
yes.
Raise your glasses to Mom and Dad to honor their marriage and the love which they live their lives. May we all learn from your patience, kindness, and love, and most importantly, your faith. We wish you many more years of happiness. Hear, hear. Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Beautiful, Nick.
I like to add a footnote to Nick's beautiful words. Nick's room was right across from the kitchen, next to the refrigerator. We noticed an awful lot of food missing in the morning.
I usually find a dish in the sink.
The giveaway. That's right. And later on, Shirley discovered some dry salami in his top drawer in his room. And further, she discovered more food. And, like, you know, it was stored for a future time. But that was beautiful, you know. We didn't mind that. It's a habit that hasn't changed.
We wonder why he has digestional problems.
It's the salami and cheese. Who knows how old it was in the fridge? I'm in the drawer.
Mom and Dad, who knew that a blind date on a whim set up by Aunt Agnes would lead to 50 years of marriage today? I've only witnessed 41 years of your 50 years, but I can honestly say that I'm the luckiest daughter. I stand here truly humbled and inspired. You both gave me life, but you also taught me how to be the best person that I can be. You two are the most humbling, loving, successful people that I know. And because of you, I know that I can always love more and strive for more. There are so many times that you did things that went without recognition or even as simple things. And I now would like to thank you for all of those things that shape us to be the Davis family that we are today. I put together just a couple little childhood memories that kind of made me smile, just little flashbacks. The Winnebago ride cross country, listening to the Glenn Miller 8-track. Chattanooga Choo Choo. Whenever I think of Dad, I think of that. With Mom in the kitchen, the smell of the parsley, picking the parsley for the tabbouleh. And you said I was good at cutting the tomatoes, so I was the tomato chopper. Shopping at Broadway and Macy's and Fashion Gal, looking for good deals. And then the exchange students, Tomas from Germany, and who remembers the Japanese Yukiko from Japan, and how much we used to tease them. Father Max with the incense and going into the church and that incense filling up the whole church at St. John of the Desert, the old St. John on Osborne. And then doing the Debki at the Lebanese festivals and Cedar Club, just fun little memories. I can go on forever with memories and thanking you both for every value and gift you have given me. And I hope you realize how thankful I am to be blessed with you both as parents. Your love for each other gives us something to strive for within our own lives. The values that you instilled in us serve to be foundations for our adult lives, and without your example, we would not understand the true meaning of love and family. You both need to know that everything you have done and sacrificed is something that we appreciate more than anything else in the world. Happy 50th anniversary. I love you both.
Christina, before you start, I want to tell you one thing I enjoyed very much when Jennifer was at the U of A and they had a Father's Day event. I tell you, I look forward to that, enjoyed that so much, just to be, to have one-on-one, the time and the place to be together with a daughter. I felt very honored, and she took me around that campus and showed me all the events that she was involved in, and the house mother was so kind to me and said very nice things about you. So, as a parent, you feel good. Thank you.
Hi. I'm number 7. I think lucky number 7. I got thinking about 50 years. It's a long time. What was the most impact, or what was the biggest thing that Mom and Dad have done in the 50 years? And I stopped and thought, gosh, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for their parents. So I wanted to say a special thank you for your parents for bringing you here. And none of us, my siblings, my siblings or my parents' grandkids or my nieces and nephews would be here if it wasn't for them. So many people's lives have been affected and will always be, and that will continue to go down the line. So for me personally, I think the biggest impact that you guys have done is to sacrifice to have all 8 of us. And it is a sacrifice. I have 2 small dogs, and it's hard. So I know, I can't imagine having kids and 8 of them, and what a sacrifice that would be. So I'm thankful and I'm blessed that you guys decided to put aside a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't, to give up and have 8 kids. And not just have 8 kids, but take care of us the way you guys did. So thank you for that. And I hope someday I will have a child or something along those lines and pass along the tradition.
You will.
Thank you.
We love you. Number 7.
So
Wait a
cute.
minute.
Number 7, you better stay there.
Last but not least.
I know, I recall when Christina got a scholarship to go to Phoenix College on soccer. And the ironic thing is they were practicing soccer and playing, it seemed to me like in the early spring when, we couldn't even sit on those aluminum benches to watch her. And here she's running back and forth, kicking that ball, and we were sweating. And you can imagine how she to get a scholarship, what she had to do. So I respect that. I admired that very much. And then when we you went to school in Florida to get your PA, and that was, we had a great time with you along the beach and going to all the different food places. She knew all the good food places. And we had just a wonderful time. And then what really admired is when she was going to school, I thought she could do better than that, but just she looked like she struggled in high school. And then all of a sudden she's in this PA school and doing fantastic. So you could see what talents, the gift you already had, and it was coming to life. And we could see that very well. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
The caboose.
The caboose. Number 8. You have to stand
middle
up.
one.
You want me to move? Yeah.
Yeah. We all had to move. The baby. The baby. And Helen. And Helen said, the baby. Here he is. The big baby.
Bring Bridget out.
All right. So, a good idea on adding the toast thing on the end. Might piggyback on that. But, yeah, so I prepared a couple thoughts on my phone, so I might be looking. I'm not checking emails but if, anything comes up. So, can you imagine it? In December, you always tell a story that had just snowed right before you guys got married. I remember my wedding day, like all the little special little pieces of it that kind of made it special and all that. But did you guys even think, like, what would the world be like 50 years later? Like, in terms of, like, I know, you couldn't. I mean, you're just trying to, like, survive your wedding day and see what the world brings you. And that's kind of the crazy thing, is the world brings you a lot of things that you don't know what's coming. And that's we'd be foolish to say we know what the future has ahead of us. And so I think it's really neat to know that you guys opened your arms and allowed for what that future road would bring you. And so, yeah, so the interesting thing is, from my perspective, you've only been married like 37 years. So, and another interesting fact is the longest recorded marriage is actually 91 years and 12 days.
Oh my God.
And so it's interesting because there's, it's all about perspective. And so one interesting story that keeps me in perspective is my mom always talked about how when she was having kids and such, she'd pray to God and ask God, for for things and such and whatever, and she'd always say, well, God, you rested on the seventh day, and I should too, with the seventh child. And I'm like, Mom, I'm the 8th. I don't get it.
See, you told me, Shirley, I have a little surprise for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So thanks for not resting on the 7th kid.
No words. Christina, what did the big?
So marriage is a lot of work. Kids are a lot of work. It's just insane, and it's and then work is a lot of work. And that's one of the things that the neatest memories I have of growing up is not just having 2 parents. It was really always having effectively a whole gang of people that would look after me and stuff. And that was definitely an interesting memory because what you did to the older kids really, especially Marianne, you're always. I just definitely remember you, I think, doing the morning routine and the nighttime stuff, and probably, and Pete, doing his thing. So, those are fantastic memories. And then also a lot of memories of working with Dad and
and going out on the weekends, and even this morning I had to get up early and go do a little project somewhere, and then just a little memory of getting up early and having those exciting little trips to go do projects with you. That was always very fun, and so that's those are really good memories that really helped shape where we are today. But and what really kind of sticks us together and really sticks Rachel and I together are really the the family and the faith components that you try to emphasize a lot on, and you have to make that decision because it just doesn't normally happen. I mean, there's a lot of distractions out there. That's you got to look at in big picture. So you have to kind of make those real decisions to really turn towards that, and that's it's really it's really that's something that you just don't wake up one morning and say I'll do this today. It's something that's kind of given to you a little bit by bit, as you grow up and as you surround yourself with really inspiring people. So raise your cup that is not in my hand, and a toast to 50 years of a beautiful marriage, and for all the way to break the record of 91 in 13 days. You never know.
And lived to 100.
Lived to 100.
Lived to 100 and married at 10 years old.
I know, I don't know about that.
At this point, if any of the spouses would like to come up and say a few words.
Joanne, I just want to add something to Mark, that the greatest of everything is love. When you have love in the family, you can conquer a lot.
So if you want to say a couple words.
Sure. Should I just stand here? Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Come up there. Mom and Dad, you guys obviously you have a legacy through me as well. I mean, we are, and I'm sure I speak for my other in-laws here. I'm blessed, because of the parents that you guys were. I mean, Marianne is a tremendous gift, and I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't thank, and praise the Lord that that you guys brought her to this earth, and I was blessed enough to move out to Arizona from Chicago and meet this beautiful girl, and then you guys welcomed me into your home. I mean, there's so many things that have come out of it. I mean, I remember the first dinner over at your place, and Marianne bringing the yogurt over on her herself with her jewelry, reaching across the table, and going to Pizza Hut with the whole family. So it has just been a blessing to be part of your family, and you guys always welcome me like I'm one of your own. And heck, for parts of the year now, we're roommates too. When I come out here, so you literally open your door to me when I come out here. But really, the work you've done with all the kids is, I see it through Marianne. Here, we go back to Chicago. She's loved. I mean, she's had a big impact on the community that I'm in, and my family as well. I mean, she takes my mom to mass. She does all these little things, and she had a great example of what you guys did, and all of the commitments and all the things that you do for others. And I see it through all the kids. I mean, you guys are very blessed. You raise the children well, and they married well. I mean, they're friends. All these spouses that we've come, Mansoor and Bouchard and Dylan, and we've got Carrie, another Irish person, Rachel. So it is just fabulous. So what can I say? And then too, just real quickly, I mean, talk about impact. You know, for me growing up, Thanksgiving was, you know, turkey, mashed potatoes, everything. So, and you know, now it's, you know, kibbeh neye, all these Arabic foods, and really this is the first year in a while where we got back to a little more of a traditional Thanksgiving, and I was like, gosh, babe, I like the other, I like the Arabic celebration better, but Mom and Dad, thank you. You guys are just a great example of humility, giving, love, and what can I say? I'm very blessed to be a part of the family. Love everybody here, and here's to another 50 years.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any other spouses that wanted to? Dan would like to say a few words.
Congratulations. I would like to tell you how much of an inspiration you are to me. You know, when I met number 5.
I can't remember her name. Number 5.
I was so impressed with the love. You know, I have one sister, and you know, I love my parents to this day, to the bottom of my heart. But you know, they didn't stay married, and to see you and your family and what you've accomplished has been amazing to me. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your daughter with me. And I can see it every day when you're with the grandkids, how much love you have in your heart. And thanks for making it to 50.
Thank you.
There's some people who probably just, oh, look at, we happen to have been married for a long time. But it seems to me that you had a mission to your marriage, and you set a course out almost like a train track, and the rails were faith and family. And you had your ups and downs and challenges and inclement weather and health issues and whatnot, but you stayed on those rails of faith and family. And I met someone recently who knows you, and she said, oh, Shirley Davis, I know Shirley Davis. The Davis family. I love the Davis family. And every time I meet someone who knows you, it's not Paul and Shirley, it's the Davis family. And it was, you have crafted this family of love and faith around you, and that's what your legacy is for all of us. So thank you for your number 8, and for all of his siblings and their children, and the lesson that you've taught us.
Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for bringing me into the family. I'll never forget, I drove out here February 14th, 1999 with a big U-Haul, and I'll never forget, Mom. What is this? What is going on? And they all helped me, didn't even unload the truck. And that was, you know, and we stored all my furniture outside by the pool.
Under the canopy.
Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. But thank you very much. Your inspiration to us all.
Thank you,
we love you. Happy
Thank you,
anniversary.
Michael. Thank you.
From the Mansour family.
Michael we were unloading ahead that ramp, you know, on the back of a U-Haul, and Joanne was carrying the microwave or the TV and missed the step.
Oh yeah.
Halfway down. And I remember somehow I turned around and grabbed it.
Yeah.
I forgot the rest of the story. Where did you land?
It's all a blur, Dad. It's all a blur.
It doesn't matter, remember it.
I landed on my head. I don't know. Yeah, but the microwave was there, so it was okay.
We saved the microwave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Carrie. I'm married to the 5th. Right? No, you.
6.
I'm married to the
Number
6th.
6.
I am the Yeah,
You're
I thought he was
the
the
fifth.
fifth.
Dan, you're married to
sorry,
the
Dan. I was like, wait, that doesn't work. He doesn't look fifth. And I'm very grateful to be married to Nick and to enter this beautiful family, and how amazingly warm you've all embraced me and my family into all your celebrations. They are so grateful to be a part as well. Mom, I greatly admire your patience with everyone and just your positivity that everything's going to work out. And I came recently from an environment where everything had to be very regimented, so I have a little bit of that in me. And then I get into your house and it's like, oh, that's right, we're the Davis family and everything's going to be fine. We're all just going to try our best, and everyone's going to stay happy too. And so Nick has that in him too, and so that really helps balance me out in life, and I'm very grateful for that. And of course, just your compassionate nature is something that I'm hoping to grow in your cooking skills, and so I'm soaking all that up and learning it as best I can. But Nick definitely has those skills as well, so I'm grateful for that. Dad, you have that planning in your head where you're always thinking outside of yourself and thinking of others and how help them, how we can bring joy and love to their lives, and just one step ahead. And a fun story I like to share about that also includes the faith. So we had a opportunity to bid on this Super Bowl party that we would have at Mount Claret Retreat Center. And of course everyone loves getting together, watching for the Super Bowl, their favorite teams, but thinking of the faith and wanting to be such a great influence on the kids, he wanted to bring them to the chapel at Mount Claret at a good break time to help them to see the full experience of that retreat center and have a time to pray together. And he timed it just right, so the last one was walking out the door as Beyonce took the stage for the halftime show. And she was like, what's that? And then they're like, no, we're going to pray. And I just stood there with my jaw dropped. That was impeccable timing that he got them to a beautiful, uplifting event instead of one that might have led to distraction. So that's just amazing. You have that gift of always thinking ahead like that. And how can we be influencing, molding these young minds for thinking on the things above, everything that is lovely and good and beautiful and true. And so thank you for that example. It really holds a high standard for all of us to try to do with our kids and our grandkids, God willing. So cheers to that.
Okay. Anyone else?
Is there anybody else who would like to? Did the siblings already have a chance to?
No, I'd like to.
Aunt Helen, the wisest of us all. Aunt Helen is the wisest.
Well, thank God that he spared me this long to
Yes,
see you.
no
both.
question.
Now I'll have to tell you what started the Davis family. She met Shirley, your mother. She met my dear brother at your aunt's place. Right, what she did mention. But prior to that, I was living in San Rafael with my darling George, you remember, my husband. And I get a phone call, and it's Paul, and he's bringing his date. And I thought, oh my, okay. So we waited, got them there, and the nice conversation, and I thought, isn't that wonderful? I'm a retired nurse, I wasn't retired then, a nurse, and he's marrying a nurse. And then I thought, well, let me see. Maybe she isn't the right one. So my brother brings her over, my darling Paul, for an approval from his oldest sister. And so we talked. Do you recall that? Coming to San Rafael?
Yeah.
You brought her over. And you took me aside. What do you think, Helen? So now you're all here.
The witness.
Sure. And with all the attributes that she has, and being a nurse, by the numbers, and that's what's happened in the family. And that's why I wondered how she was going to handle 8 children at the time. No, started with There was 5. I thought, oh, my darling George. I said, honey, she's a nurse. In the morning, they had, one was in charge of the washer, one was in charge of this and that, and she had it all, isn't that right? Scheduled. I thought, what's no wonder. And then 8, it was a breeze. At least when I looked, and here she was. And honestly, it's only my darling Shirley that could have handled my dear brother, Paul. She's more of a sister to
Yes,
me.
we're sisters.
I am the lucky one here. I'm the blessed one. Have Shirley and Paul 33 years for a friend. All the memories, the stories, 8 children, all the parties. I don't think Joe and I ever missed one. We've been to all of them. But there's one that really sticks out. That was Joanne's graduation, college graduation. Paul had planned this big party, a picnic, and we had a beautiful table, beautiful surrounding, and Paul had a bucket of chicken, and huge. It was loaded with different kinds of chicken. And we sat down to eat, and it rained. Paul grabbed the chicken and ran to the car, and we continued the party inside the car. And the chicken wasn't all that wet either. It was okay. But what a blessing it was to be there to all your parties. The little one, I got the cutest picture of you and me. I gotta give it to you. So thank you, thank you, Paul and Shirley, and bless you.
She came to every graduation.
And I was, thank you, God bless you.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks to my brother Joe, Ursula and Joe were an ideal couple, and they lived as brother and sister because that's the way they wanted to be, and I have high respect for that. And they how they never missed a birthday party or a graduation. And then when we went to the graduation for Joanne, we had a motorhome. So we brought all we put all the food in the motorhome. Am I right?
It was a truck.
Or was it?
Big truck.
Yeah. Or the Suburban.
Yeah,
The Suburban.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
For someone else's.
So Ursula, that was special for us
Yes.
to have you in the family.
And thank
we,
you
we
very
felt
much.
very,
I
very
feel
open in the way you
lucky.
and Joe did this.
I didn't carry.
Have yourself a merry anniversary. Let your hearts be light. From now on, may troubles all be out of sight. Have yourself a merry anniversary. 50 years you've made. From now on, may troubles all stay miles away. Keep your
when Shirley and I first got married, you have in your mind how you want to live, what you want to, what kind of life you want, and you learn that from the experiences growing as a as a single person. So I remember every child that we brought, that Shirley had, and we brought home, we loved them so much. We would hug them and kiss them and just couldn't get over how they would respond to us. And I said, I got to keep that same pattern up because they respond to that. So that was a lesson in itself. Just, first time when you have your own child, it's different than someone else's. And you become responsible. You become, so I said, boy, I want to, every time we had our supper at home, growing up, I made sure I was there. Even though my work was not finished, I said, well, I can go after the kids finish their meal, and I could, Shirley was very good about that. I could go back to work or get up early in the morning before the kids went to school and then come back home when I could. So those are the, there wasn't really the sacrifice. It was a way of life, becoming responsible of what you have to do. So that, I felt those were strong elements in making a success and making sure that we both were true to what our commitment is. You want to say anything about that?
I'm just so happy everybody's here and to enjoy this special day with us. And I thank you for everything. I thank you for all your kind words everybody said. And I'm just happy everybody's here, including Mrs. Mansour.
We want to thank very much all the people that are responsible for making this whole weekend, including Mary Ann and Charlie and coming down here and having Vicky Marie with us. That was great.
Ma'am.
So
I want to take this opportunity to congratulate my brother and my dear sister on their 50th anniversary. It brings back a lot of memories. And then I do want to mention that how proud I am of them for having raised a wonderful family, and I'm so grateful because where would we have Christmas or New Year's celebrating with them and enjoying Christmas, Thanksgiving, and everything? So it's a joyous, it always was a joyous time. But I also want to thank my brother Paul for instituting the legacy that his dad had. I remember my dad very well, and my mother. And I have to say that my brother Paul has pretty much put it in effect. The family, it was always the family came first, and faith. Faith first, family. And I want to take this opportunity to be grateful for this get-together. I thank you all, and I love you all.
We love you too.
Thank you. We love you too. Are you leaving?
Yes. Marriage, it halves your pain, it halves your sorrow, doubles your joy, and quadruples your expenses. And then, in your case, it would be what is that? Octuple your expenses. And octuple your expenses. And then there was one other quote. I thought this was perfect for Mom and Dad, and that was that love is not staring into each other's eyes, but both eyes staring in the same direction.
Yeah.
I thought that was what Rachel was saying.
Beautiful.
That your eyes were on the same direction for faith and family, and you understood suffering. and that suffering is part of the package. Without that, it's not fully loved. Okay, thank you so much, Mom and Dad. We love you. Happy
Thank you.
50th anniversary.